Hey, Mike Healy here, and I thought I would document something for you, if you don't mind. If you're interested in marketing or generating leads or building funnels or anything like that, I kind of want to show you my process here. So first off, I want to show you something that's in my room right here. I'm gonna turn this around, and what it is it's a plaque my wife put up there. It says, "Hard. It's hard to beat a person who never gives up." Now, the reason I wanted to show you that was because it reminds me every day when I kind of see this and I do lives and stuff like that, that you just got to keep plugging and plugging and plugging. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you kind of a mental process that I have. This is from a PowerPoint that I did a few years ago. That I was starting to learn this stuff and then I advanced it. So let me flip the screen here. All right, so this is actually my desktop. A lot of people don't get to see this. I got papers all over the place, different things. I got another monitor, and I look out the window right there, which is kind of cool. My pool's outside there. But I made this PowerPoint a while ago, and it was basically how to generate between 5 and 10 quality leads per day. And I was asking this question, how fast do you think you could earn money if you had 5 to 10 interested people wanting to talk about what you had to offer? So it's pretty cool. And then talking about feeding, give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man a fish, feed him for a lifetime. And pretty much it's a numbers game, right? Whoever tells the story the most wins. And I used some graphics there, and I'm going to just kick through here. I showed some examples of my success because I've been in networking for years, spoken in front of crowds, thousands of times probably, not even kidding. And the largest crowd I ever spoke to was at a convention, was over 10,000 people in the audience. Been number one earner, most, or not number one earner, but always typically the number one recruiter in most companies I've been in, and showed my wife, right? So here's where I think things change for me. As I heard a guy do a presentation on this between the amateur and the professional. It says if you're not using data to drive your decisions and pay traffic to grow your business, you're dead, okay? And I started to learn these principles, okay? The other thing is I started learning how to show where unlimited leads came from using the platforms, right? So I kind of learned how to do this type of stuff. So we all in, like, especially in networking, because this is where I started, was in network marketing. It was basically old school way. You've got your circles, three who got three, that kind of thing. What I figured out was I could turn these platforms like Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and other YouTube ads into my reps. So basically, instead of making people go out and do it, I was letting the platforms go out and do it. Okay, and that's kind of how I put it together. And then during this same process, I built this case study, right, where I was talking about doing a funnel and going through and just showing people examples of all the leads that were coming in my inbox. I had 46 days. I had personally enrolled 110 people in that company. All the leads that came in. Another one I did in 90 days. Personally enrolled 160 people. And so I went through and I just showed these different case studies, right? Now, this was the thing that changed my career right here, and I want to talk to you about this one. It says the system's a leverage by which you turn ordinary people into extraordinary performers. So the point of that one, the system part, is that phrase right there. That's what changed my complete career in everything I did. Once I understood systems and I started, and the breakdown was about how people that have systems can replicate that, can scale it, can and really turn it on. And a problem I had with like in networking, a lot of times it was always just about personality driven stuff. And people, a lot of times people don't admit that. I mean, it really wasn't what I'd always put systems in place that allowed people's personalities to get amplified. So let me show you screen again. And so after I figured out the systems, what I did was this was based on something I'd heard, and it was about the kind of the example of like McDonald's. Great businesses do not look for extraordinary people. Great businesses look for ordinary people, and leverage them with extraordinary systems. Okay. And this was the biggest one for me because it was after I heard those things put together, I was like, okay. And then this one kind of capitalized on it. It says, rather than motivate people to increase productivity, create systems to increase productivity, motivation naturally follows. So if you think for a second about how many times you've ever been to events or things like that, it's typically let's do a big rah-rah, let's get people excited, enthused, and everybody's there, they've made new goals, and then you see those same people a month later or even probably a couple days later, and nothing's changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. They spent thousands of dollars to go to events, but in most cases, they never get that next level advancement or build any kind of business because they don't have a system. A system is the most important thing you can have. So back to the whole system point, what I did too is I figured out how to kind of create funnels. Like, so my systems became a funnel, right? And I had this 5-step process. So my process was when I recruited people in networking, I wrote a book about it. I had 5 steps: prospect, contact, present, follow up, and repeat. And it worked really, really good. And everything was manual. But then what I did is I was like, asking myself, how can I automate this process? Because automation is to your time what compounding interest is to your money. And I realized that I needed to start learning what funnels were. Okay, I started to learn this through different companies like Leadpages and ClickFunnels and System.io and things like that. Because all a funnel is a series of steps put in a strategic order where the goal is to take your customer on a journey, right? They want to have a story going that makes them the most likely to go from a prospect to a customer to potentially a rep, right? So it's real simple. So what I did is I began to kind of automate the process, and instead of the 5 steps the way I had them, it was traffic, landing, capture, report, proposal, and I put those things together. But then instead of just going after organic traffic all the time, which is kind of set it and hope it happens, paid traffic was the way to go, because that goes back to the whole data decision thing right there. And what I did is I created that book, and I had a landing page to go get a free opt-in. During that part, when they got the free opt-in, I sent them a series of videos that were really short that build a rapport. And at the end, it was kind of like your call to action of join my business. And I figured out how to do this. And I used to actually give away or actually sell these courses. There's a Facebook course, a Google Ads course, a YouTube course, marketing funnel course, and then I put it all together with my network marketing course, right? That's kind of what I did. And then I began to run ads, because here's what it comes down to. This is ultimately the kind of the point of this thing is if I gave you $2 for every dollar you gave me, how many dollar bills would you give me, right? And if you can get like leads for a specific amount, so let's say I can get $1 per lead, cost me $100, and 1 out of 100 joins, and I make $200, right? So think about that. That's what it is done correctly. So done correctly, if you can generate some leads that are coming in on a repetitive basis, and they're interested because you're talking to the right person about the right thing at the right time, it increases your success. Okay, so now that was kind of the impromptu stuff I wanted to show you. I'm going to show you exactly an example of how I do what I do. Okay, so let's go to my computer again. Okay, so here's inside my YouTube account right there. I've got about, I don't know, 30-some thousand subscribers. I just made this video, and I'll read it to you in case you can't read it. It says, get a secondary stream of income. It's a 1-minute video, right? So what my purpose was on this video is I'm just basically telling a quick story.
And I come to you live from my pool, obviously recorded.
I made the video, and then I put captions below that using vid.io. And I'm basically just telling a quick story, right? So my quick story is this. So now I've made this content in this video, and now I'm going to show you what I think is the kind of the coolest thing that I've ever found. Okay, so now that I created this video, what I'm doing is I'm looking for the perfect target market. Now, I made a video about this a couple days ago, but if you do any kind of advertising, TubeSift is the thing I use. It's just insane how cool this is, because watch this. So what I can do is I can do searches, and what I'm looking for is relevant people that I can put that message in front of. So if I go here and I type in like, let's say, because I'm marketing this business blueprint thing, right? And I want to tag into anybody that is looking for side hustles. Side hustles, but to be people that's looking for work, whatever. And let's say for time's sake, I'm going to just use 10. I click on 10. What this platform does is I click search. It's now going to go through every single, video that happens to be monetized. And so you'll notice there's a video right here, right? So what it just did is it pulled up the top 10, because I only listed it for 10. You can pull up to 500. And if I click play, it's going to open this video up, and you're going to see that there's going to be an ad that plays in front of it. So what it does is I can put my video here. So what I'm trying to show you is this video, this is an ad playing in front of this side hustle video, right? So there's the side hustle thing. So what I can do is I can go here to get links. Check it out. I click get links, and it now gives me all of the YouTube link video links right here, all done. And again, like I can, have every one of them, or I can even click the channel links, but I'm just going to use the video links. If I copied that and pasted it, and I put that inside of a YouTube ad now, so I go to my Google Ads account, and under placements, I place all of those YouTube links. My video, the one I just showed you a second ago, is now going to play in front of those videos, right? So think about that for instance, right? So I have the exact video in front of the right person talking about the right thing at usually the right time, because what happened is somebody's going to see one of those videos because they were looking for a side hustle, a way to generate some extra income, and I just put my video ad, quote unquote, in front of them with a short proposition of exactly what they were looking for, which gets them to go opt in. Now let me show you what it looks like at that point. Okay, so what happens is once they click on my ad, it takes them to this simple landing page, right? How to start an online business with a proven blueprint. And the cool part here is I'm only asking for one small piece of info, which is just an email. And once they put that in there, they get on my autoresponder list that's already pre-made, and it has a list of all the things that I want them to watch. So now once they're over there, they get redirected, they opt in, and then bang, it takes them immediately to a page to watch a video that has a short explanation. So you have to remember this for a second, is the entire time I'm getting the right message in front of the right person at the right time, but I'm using automated systems, online systems and tools to do all the heavy lifting for me to get the message out. So I'm not making phone calls every 2 seconds. I'm using that to do it. And then at the very beginning of the presentation, if you followed me this far, you'll notice that it said, make data-driven decisions. With my ads account, with my landing pages, I can see all of the statistics that give me the exact things that I need to know, such as how many people hit my website, how many people opted in, and how many people maybe bought the course. Knowing that, I can then go back to this slide. Let me show it to you. We can go right back to this slide that I just ran paid traffic to a specific web page. It cost me X amount of dollars to get them. I got that many people to join out of whatever, and I made that kind of profit. So this is what it is right here. That's what it says, is if I gave you $100 for every, that kind of thing. And then I had a lot more parts in that training. So in essence, what I just showed you is literally a license to print money. like somebody asked me, I had a guy call me just a little while ago, actually about an hour ago, and he's like, man, you're doing this, you're busy with this and all that stuff. And yeah, I get busy, but what I've done is I've automated my processes. I've used tools and techniques and strategies to track data, to get my message in front of the right people at the right time. And by using paid traffic, what it's doing, and using the tools to identify the people, the exact person I need to get in front of, what it's doing is it's allowing me to do this, not give up, right? To keep trying stuff, to keep trying stuff, to keep trying stuff, to keep trying stuff. And I don't care if it works or not. I typically just learn something from every time I go through the process, and when I go through the next process, and so on. And then what happens is you start getting stuff coming in. Let me show you that. So you remember that opt-in page I showed you? So this right here, that's page hits. And that's the amount of people. So I'm literally getting an 11% conversion rate. So for every single person that hits that page, based on content I put in front of them, it's a 10%, is 11%, almost 12% conversion rate. That to me is insane. Because after the conversion rate, the purchase rate of somebody going through the platform, so the right person, right time, looking at the right message, going through the process now is basically they're in. They go, and like 1 out of 20 people I'm seeing is actually buying what I'm offering, right? And because I can do this with just about anything that I do, because of this process, that's what I've done. I basically have figured out how to orchestrate a simple message asking for one action activity from that prospect to do something simple, like opt in to get some quality content, opt in to download a PDF, opt in to watch a video, stuff like that. I'm building a list, I'm tracking the data, I'm measuring the data, and then I'm scaling, okay? And I'm automating. And then this is what ultimately I'm doing. I'm going to show you this now too. Once I'm done, I go out to that place. So this is the view from my office in my room. I go hang out at my pool as often as I want. And so that's it. I basically have just put processes together. I put systems in place. I track the data. I am able to scale because of that data. I'm able to measure it, and I'm able to create, different income streams based on content I put out there, tracking data, things like that. And I never thought I was going to be any kind of nerd like this. And I mean, I get criticized all the time. People see me doing stuff online and like, what's Healy doing now? What's in her? And in my opinion is, I really don't care what anybody thinks, because if you ain't paying my bills, it doesn't matter, right? I have to answer to myself, my wife, and a lot of times my kids. They don't live with me anymore because they're all grown up, but that's pretty much it, right? So the way I see it is, I got to do what I got to do to go out there and make a life for myself. You can do the same thing if you just try. I really don't know why people. Typically it's the death rattle of the uninitiated that make negative comments to people about doing extra stuff. Like, I got friends that have tried multiple things and they probably don't even come close to touching the amount of stuff that I've tried, because I typically always learn something. I give it a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I probably learn something. Like, ultimately, you learn from your mistakes more often than you learn from your successes, because that's just the way life is. Okay, so anyhow, I just thought I was watching an Alex Hormozy video about this kind of thing, and thought I'd document a little bit, show you some stuff in my office that you typically don't see. And if you got any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want that blueprint on the thing that I gave you the example, you can go to growyourcheck.com and see how that funnel works, that kind of thing. It's really cool. But otherwise, make some comments, ask me questions, things like that. And you can do this. So go out there and create your own successful future. See you on the other side. Thanks.